Hello, my name is Sophie and welcome to this week's video. Few things just to explain before I start. I'm trying to have a productive day, hence why I'm filming with wet hair. Mental health hasn't been great these past few days, so I'm just going with it while it's rolling. 2, on the same vein, I don't fancy putting makeup on, so I haven't put makeup on. 3, sorry if you can hear the washing machine downstairs. I'm trying to get some laundry done and our washing machine sounds like it's taking off sometimes. So there's that. Today I wanted to talk about Netflix because I have somewhat of a history with Netflix. My priority has always been YouTube. I've loved watching YouTube probably for 10 years. You've seen loads of creators talking about how they've been around for 10 years now. I've been making videos for 6 years now, so I've been watching videos for a lot longer. And my watch later has been full for literally years. I've not had an empty watch later playlist since before I went to uni in 2015, and obviously that was 5 years ago. So for the first time in a very long time I reached the bottom of my watch later, and suddenly I'm home alone and I'm like, well, what do I do? Netflix. And I've been catching up on all the things I've been missing. I've been watching things that people are talking about. It's been fantastic. So I thought, with the help of my trusty bullet journal, I would talk about 3 shows that I have binge watched in the last like 2 weeks, and then 3 shows that are on my watch later that I'm really excited about. Not watch later, is it my list? Terminology, man, it's strange. The first thing I watched when I finished my YouTube playlist was Cheer. I wrote a whole blog post about it, which I will link in the description if you're interested. But Cheer is a 6 episode docuseries made by Netflix about an American cheerleading team at a college in Corsicana, Texas called Navarro. Look at me learning and remembering things. I have seen a lot of people on Instagram talking about Cheer, but I was kind of like put off it because I experienced cheerleaders while I was at uni and I thought I understood it, so I was like, yeah, not for me. But then I saw the clips and I just saw how beautifully made the show was, and I was like, I need to see this. And then I felt like I was brought into this whole new world of cheerleading, and it's insane, and I literally haven't stopped talking about it to everyone I've spoken to. I've told all of them to go watch Cheer because it's about so much more than cheerleading, and it's incredible. But also the whole industry of cheerleading is absolutely mad, and the skill that those people have is absolutely insane. I binge watched it in like less than 2 days and I thoroughly recommend. The next thing I binge watched was Sex Education. This is one that's been on my radar for a lot longer because it's been out for a lot longer, but what is this doing? But again, I didn't think I'd be so fussed about it because talking about sex publicly is something that I'm not really too partial to. Like, I watch a few like sex education channels on YouTube. Hannah Witten is one of my favourite YouTubers of all time, and she talks about this show a lot, and I was like, do I need to watch a show about a kid who thinks he knows everything about sex? And then suddenly it's not about that at all, and it's, again, beautifully created, incredibly written. The writing in this show is just absolutely phenomenal. The fashion choices, the style of school, and everything else feels a bit disjointed. Like, it's set in the modern day, but it feels a bit 90s, but also it's like they're putting American high school into a British secondary school, and it's like it's clearly an American writer. Well, I don't know if it is, but it feels like it's an American writer who didn't do any research. It's a bit strange, but I don't know if maybe that's the point. However, in continuities aside, Series 1 is utterly fantastic. Series 2 is nearly as good, I would say. I watched Series 2 literally in one night, and I think the new characters really brought something great to it, but the way Hannah Witten described it was kind of everyone's an arsehole, and the way I wanted to describe it after I finished it was the main character was the least interesting part of the whole series. Like, Otis is great, but I'm all here about Amy's storyline. It's just fantastic. It's so good, and it's so funny, and it's so realistic. Like, it so captures the relationship between teenagers with teenagers, teenagers with their parents, parents with other parents, and just the way everyone interacts. The third and final show that I've binge watched since finishing my YouTube watch later is something that I actually started maybe a year ago. Me and my boyfriend watched the first episode at my godmother's house when we were just trying to, she'd just moved house and we were trying to see if Netflix worked. So my boyfriend put on the Ted Bundy tapes. Her kids were in bed, luckily. I'm not massively into serial killers. Like, a lot of people are super into true crime at the moment, and it's just never something that's really gripped me. I thoroughly enjoyed the Ted Bundy tapes. The part of me that did an undergraduate in journalism found the whole investigative element and the interview with the journalist that interviewed Bundy really, really interesting. And again, it was beautifully shot. Anything Netflix original just seems to be... All three of these are Netflix originals. That was not intentional. Netflix just has an incredible budget by the sounds of it, or by the looks of it, because everything they shoot is just incredible. And my three recommendations... No, those were my three recommendations. The three things I want to watch next, I have every faith that are also really good, but I've not watched yet. So if you have seen them, let me know in the comments down below. The first one is Titans. It's a DC TV show made by Netflix, I think. I'm massively into superheroes. I love all the Marvel films. The DC TV is like the... Is it CBS? I can't remember what channel it's on, but Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and now Batgirl, which I haven't seen yet, but those shows, The Flash is my favourite TV show of all time. So I'm big into superheroes, and I'm really excited about this DC TV universe. Series 2 has just come out, which is why it's kind of surfaced again, but I wasn't so fussed about Series 1 because from what I could tell it was a lot of gore, and I'm not massively into like gore and violence for the sake of violence, which sounds ridiculous being a superhero fan, but my boyfriend has watched it and reliably informed me that Titans isn't like that, so gonna give that a watch. The second show that is on my list is The Witcher. I know it's based off a video game, but I think it's quite new and a lot of people are talking about it at the moment, and like 3 or 4 separate people have told me I should watch it, and I want to give it a go. There's not much more to say about it. And the last one is one that I haven't seen anyone talking about online, which is where I get most of my recommendations, but it keeps cropping up on my Netflix. It might be because I've just watched the Ted Bundy tapes, but it's called... My book's down here just for context. It's called The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann, and I know I said I'm not into true crime, but the Madeleine McCann thing absolutely baffles me. I have read so many threads and theories about Madeleine McCann, and I'm just interested to see what angle this documentary takes, because maybe it's just who I follow online, but it just seems to be universally accepted that the parents did it, and you know, I think they should stop giving them money for the investigation, but I just want to see what the documentary says. I know there's loads of films and stuff about Madeleine McCann, but I don't know why I find the whole thing really interesting. But that's on my list. So I finally finished watching YouTube and I'm now watching Netflix. Catching up on all this Netflix has really reminded me that I love TV and TV shows and the creativity behind them, and it's kind of making me think maybe that's what I want to do for a living, but that sounds super hard to get into and I don't know what I'm doing, so just gonna do this weird little dance. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any Netflix recommendations, let me know in the comments down below, and if you've seen any of the shows I've mentioned, tell me what you thought. If it's one that I liked, did you like it too? If it's one that I'm going to watch, did you like it too? Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!